Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Sammy, United People's TV, in a refreshed studio, in a brand new live match day show. Let's roll the sleeves up. Let's enjoy ourselves. I'll tell you what today's show is going to be all about. I'm going to be here for the next hour and a bit. We're going to be, live match day build-up. The team's going to be out in just under 15 minutes. I'm going to run through everything that Carrick's been saying in the embargo part of the press conference that happened last night. We'll also then run through the team news when it is out. We'll take a look at the starting 11s for both United and Spurs, and we'll speak about the tactics, speak about predictions ahead of the game. It's only Spurs. Well, Spurs had our number last season. But I hope you enjoyed today's show. I hope you get involved. How you feeling about the game? Early kickoff, 12:30. Please don't ruin my weekend, United. So it's a slightly different show, different time. But I've been wanting to do this for a good while. And now we're getting started. What do you think about this, by the way? So we've got a renewed and refreshed setup for all the kits. You've got 5 Cantonars. Right, obviously you've got 5 Cantonars. You've got the current team down there. You've got Carrick, Bruno, and Bumo, Ahmad, and Sheshko up here. You've got some captains. And over there, you've just got some cracking United players, really. I hope you enjoy it. It should be fun today. How are you all doing? How are you all feeling about the game? We're going to be having some interactive parts of the show as well. We can do a word cloud. You can tell me who you think your man of the match is going to be. We're going to get some predictions. We're going to have some fun, all right? Who's doing what today? Well, apart from watching the game. Let me say hello to everybody and get on with today's show. We've got JC, we've got Maddie, we've got Carl, we've got Ant, we've got Steph, we've got Alex. We've got a full mod army. Hopefully it keeps it civil down here. We've also got some members. We've got Smee, we've got Philip, got Marcus, we've got Big Perm, we've got Lily, and some non-members. I'm sure there'll be plenty of new faces joining in today who haven't been part of United People's TV. Well, you've been missing out. Now you will be. We've got MacDog, we've got Real C, we've got Mick, we've got Michael Griffin, Rusco, Hamza. Let's go. Let's get our predictions in. Right, fire them into the comments. Should I go for that? Actually, let's have another poll today. Let's see if the poll's any different. What's your prediction today? Right, we'll get a few polls going today. We'll make this as interactive as we possibly can. What's your prediction? United win, draw, or Spurs win? Right. Shall we? Let's go. Team news is out in just over 10 minutes. My predicted starting 11 was... I just didn't really see... I didn't really see the need to change something that's been working. And I know that Sheshko has scored that goal against Fulham and is full of confidence and full of beans. But I just wouldn't change it. I think there's obviously arguments to be had about starting Mazraoui at right back. But if I'm being completely honest, I actually think Delo's had a good few games these last few games. Not being like spectacular, not like done anything great, but I don't think he's been poor. Let's get some of your predictions in down here. We've got Damien, you're saying either 3-1 United or 1-0 Spurs. Two very different results there. Brian, you're going for a 5-1 United. Dean, you're going for a 3-1. Sesko hat-trick today, says Sheshko Lover. The Greek chef, have a Corona on you. I'll tell you what. Actually, well, to be fair, it is 11:05. So I probably shouldn't be having a Corona at this point in time. But for the West Ham game, we'd probably have a little cheeky beer. Why not? See if I don't miss any other super chats. And you're saying you're telling you now we're winning. Hey, look, man, I said it in my sort of match preview as well. This is the first time I'm going into a game in a long time, just like confident of United getting a win. Now, will that be misplaced? Am I the jinx? All that jazz. But I'm pretty confident. Right, let's see what's going on down here. So I'm going to send you a link to this. Okay? Let me pop this in the chat now. All you got to do is go on there and type it. It's a word cloud, right? So whenever you enter who you think your man of the match will be, it will come up on this word cloud. In the same way that we've been doing the quizzes on Fridays, this is an interactive way. So I'm going to leave that to go for a while. The link is down there. I will pin that to the top of the chat. All right? I'll let that go for 5-10 minutes, and then I'll check back in, maybe after the team news is out, in just under 10 minutes. And as I said, when the team news is out, we'll run through the tactics board. We'll come over here. The JLA tactics board is fantastic. Big up, James. We'll run through the starting 11s of both teams. It sounds like Mickey van der Ven might be fit to start. That's what Thomas Frank was suggesting in his pre-match press conference, but let's see if he's in the actual team. And you're going for 5-2. Well, my prediction was 4-1, by the way, which I think is the biggest prediction that I've given in a long time. And I can see down here, 300 votes in straight away, 96% of you. 96% of you think United are going to win. Now, I want to start off today's show, I suppose, by saying how fantastic it was to see so many United fans going for the Munich memorial under the plaque yesterday. Was it 2:30? Also seeing United's managers for both the men's and the women's teams and United's captains going out and paying their respects. And that's just, it was, I don't want to use the word like good to see, if you know what I mean, but I think it is good to see. Right, let me see what you're saying down here. I didn't watch the service yesterday. No, I didn't. Right. Let's run through it. Abraham, you think that Ahmad's going to be man of the match? Well, look. The Prem table. What happens if we win today? So we're playing the early kickoff. If we win, we don't move anywhere. We just, we'll be 3 points behind City with a significantly inferior goal difference, to be fair. Mate, you know, if we beat Spurs today, yeah, look how far down I'm having to go here. We're honestly throwing Spurs into a bit of a relegation scrap. Ish. Ish. Maybe not exactly a relegation scrap. But they are, and I knew Spurs were having a bad season. They are exactly as they were last season. Because Spurs and United last season, it's like when it went to that final, it's like two different shades of crap. Let's be completely honest with how both teams were playing this season. But this season, can someone like allay my fears in the chat, right? Because I am going into this game confident. And it's at times like these where I think all of us as United fans have got PTSD because we've been here many, many a time before. And just when you think that there might be some actual genuine momentum that might start putting the club in a different direction, you hit a speed bump. You hit a hurdle. Something happens. I'm not saying it's going to derail it, and that losing to Spurs or drawing against Spurs wouldn't derail progress that we've seen under Carrick, but it would just be a massive speed bump. That's what I would call it. I'll go down there. How long until kickoff? You can see at the top up here, we've got the countdown. So the kickoff is in just over an hour and 20 minutes. Someone down there, Goat, you're gifting a membership. Good morning to you. Thank you very much, dude. And Tim, you're gifting 5. Anybody who's new to this community, you will realise just how wonderful this United community really, really is. So make sure you stay involved. Mirko, Sam, you got to stay negative. It makes a win feel so much better. Come on, Sam, we want the positivity. Less of the Europa League. Hey, look, I'm not here talking about, I'm just, you know what would be nice? It would be nice to absolutely slap up Spurs. They caused me some serious misery last season, and I want to repay them for that. And we were in a very good position to do it. Team news. The only team news ahead of kickoff was that De Ligt was likely to be back after Mount. Both of those two were unavailable, but other than that, there were no fresh injury concerns. And United had a full squad available. So, as I said, we've got the team news coming out in T-minus 5 minutes, and that's when the show can really kick off. What's everyone's predictions down there about the team? Like, do you think there will be any changes? What are you expecting from Spurs? See, this was the Spurs team that faced City. That back three, man. Dragosan, Romero, and Polina, even if they do play, it's just such a whiffy back three. Gallagher and Basuma was in midfield for them. Udogi and Gray as the two wing-backs, and a front three of Mwani, Simons, and Solanke. And to be fair to Simons, he was actually quite good. And Solanke obviously bagged too. But it is the injury list from Spurs is insane. Insane. Right, I'm going to have a quick look at this. Right, should we have a quick peep at this? Who do you think's going to be man of the match? Bruno's coming up many a time. I think on here, if something is typed in more, it becomes a bigger word. So right now, you're backing Bruno. Then you're going Cunha. But Bruno Fernandes is also coming down there. So by the sound of it, by the looks of it, a lot of you are suggesting Bruno. Would I back that? I think I might have gone for Ahmad. I think I might have. But Bruno's going to have the bit between his teeth about that record, man. Nothing's ever going to be said about him having that assists record, but I think he's going to really want it. Let me read out some of your comments. Do get involved in the chat. I will read as many as I can. NT with a very particular prediction. Palhinha card, Bruno to score assist. Kevin, you're saying Van der Ven at the back worries me. He's always elite against us. The reason I think he's been elite against us before is because we've had a midfield that's parted like the Red Sea. That particular assist that he did when he just drove straight through a midfield that just didn't exist. That won't exist in this version of Manchester United. Where out of possession, we're in quite a compact 4-4-2. So those sort of spaces that he was able to just effectively run through unchallenged, they shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be there today. I don't quite know that. Someone down there saying I'm concerned about Mount since Carrick came in. I'm not concerned about Mount. It's just for every manager that comes in, there will be players that benefit and there will be players that lose out. Mount, unfortunately for him, he's in that list of players that will lose out. Mainu, one of the massive benefiters of Carrick coming in. Casemiro as well, I suppose. But Mount doesn't really have a position. Bruno's ahead of him. He's not going to play in one of the deeper central midfield roles, and he's not going to play ahead of Cunha or Ahmad or Mbeumo or probably Šeško. It is what it is. It happens. That's why you got to build the right squad for each manager. We've got where's everyone tuning in from? Where are you watching United from today? What's the time where you're watching it? Obviously, it's 11:15 here for me. Robbie, you're saying we absolutely will have an open midfield. That's literally the only thing Ruben fixed. Robbie, you must be watching different games. I would say against Fulham, it got exposed a couple of times. But largely, out of possession, you've got your two midfielders, Kobe and Casemiro, and your two wingers who are Cunha and Ahmad tucking in, or Dorgu and Ahmad tucking in and making a four. We've not had an open midfield at the same scale that we've had an open midfield before. Right, let's read out where you're watching from, and then we'll get to team news because it's going to be out in about 30 seconds. We've got Murray watching from Australia. We've got Evans watching from Ghana. Someone from Cape Town as well. Dublin, Norway, Manchester, Grenada, California, Brazil. Lewis, man, I love this, man. This always puts a big smile on my face. And obviously watching from Plymouth. Come on. Don't forget the big Plymouth. Right, where's the team news? It's coming out now. Hey, look who's here. Look who's here. There he is. The big man. The boss man. There's Carrick and the players arriving. We'll get a little video of that up in a second, but the team news is about to come out. I'm about to bring it to you. So, give me one sec. Are you ready? I don't think there'll be any changes. That's my prediction anyway. If there's one change, it's going to be Šeško being given his chance. But if you put Šeško in, what, you taking Cunha out? That's why I don't think there'll be any changes. Right. I don't think that was particularly hard to predict. United name an unchanged starting 11 for the early kickoff against Spurs. So, ladies and gents, here is your team. You've got Senny in goal. You've got Delo and Shaw as the two wing-backs. So annoying how they don't do it in bloody position order. Anyway, they don't. Two centre-backs, you've got Maguire and Martinez. Central midfielders, you have got Casemiro and Kobe. On the left, you've got Cunha. On the right, you've got Ahmad. Through the middle, you've got Bruno. And up front, you've got Mbeumo. So, Manchester United, let's go to the tactics board. The exact same starting 11, all right? That's what I predicted. It's what a lot of you predicted. And I think it's the correct thing to do. It's worked. It's working. So let's not change that up. Let's have a quick look at what Spurs starting 11 is, all right? Let's leave United's there on screen whilst I get the Spurs one for you. From a Spurs perspective, I think we're all looking out to see whether Van de Ven's in the team. And there's your answer. Van de Ven is back in the starting 11. Vicario, Palhinha, Xavi, Udogie, Gray, Romero's fit to start. Gallagher's in midfield, Odegaard and Sarr. So he's making changes up front. Solanke's fit. Simon's not. No, Xavi Simons is over there. What's their starting 11? I don't know how do you position that? Don't change a winning team. I agree, don't change a winning team. I'll wait a second, then I'll get all that in the tactics board. Let's have a quick look at the bench. Is there any change down here on the bench? Tyler Fletcher's there. No Lacey, which is correct. Bayindir, Heaven's there. Malacia's still there. In terms of impact from the bench, you're looking at Šeško being a difference maker. Ugarte might come on in midfield if necessary. And Yoro or Mazraoui, probably your two defensive changes. Let me go down here and see what you're saying. Quite right. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't know why United still do this running order. It's so annoying. Sam, they're not playing wing-backs anymore. Looks like a back four for Spurs. Let's have a quick look then. See if we can pull this team up together. Van de Ven's in the team, though. So that's one thing that we were looking out for. Let's see what live score I've got it down as. Right, this is what live score I've got it down as. So we'll copy this and get this into the tactics board. Is that right? That's not confirmed. That's possible lineups. Come on, lads, team these out. Amateurs. Let's have a quick look at this again. Vicario. So they're back three. Is it back four? Romero and Van de Ven. Does that mean Udogie and Gray? Is Gray going to be their right back? Midfield of Gallagher and Sarr, I presume. And then, what, they're going to play 4-2-3-1. Solanke up front. Simons through the middle with Odegaard and... who else? Bloody hell, it's really annoying. It's like I don't care about Spurs. Right, let's wait for this to come out and then I can get it into the tactics board. I don't think there's any surprise there. I don't think it's a bad thing. Palhinha. Yeah, Palhinha goes into midfield as well. Right. Let's see if we can get this up now. Can you show me how their team will set up, please? Confirm lineup. Well, that's not confirmed. Again, you got that wrong. Man, live score. Sort your life out. Right, let's just do it ourselves. Where's the tactics board gone? So, starting 11 for Spurs. They've got Odegaard in there. So, Mwani's out. Simon's in there. Solanke's in there. Odegaard, Sarr's in. That means Basuma's out. Van de Ven is in, which means Dragosan is out. So you're probably looking at, guessing, a bit of this. Palhinha, I'm guessing, comes into midfield. Does that mean Sarr's up there? Gallagher and Palhinha with Simons through the middle. Maybe Sarr on the left. Odegaard on the right. Do you reckon that's probably what it is? I think so. That feels about right. What do you think is the most... what are you... Okay, no, I'm not going to mean this in a negative sense, but what do you think are going to be Spurs' actual danger points? Like, you know how vulnerable this Spurs team is. We've seen it all season. You saw it in the first half against City. Second half, they were significantly better. I'll give them that. First half, they were awful. Let's see if we can confirm the actual shape of their starting 11, because that's what's caught me off guard here. It looks like they've changed their shape completely. Did it. Right. So they've gone for... well, they're still going for three at the back. All right, well, let's just match up what FOTMob says then, because they're probably correct. They're keeping a three at the back. They're popping Palhinha back in. Udogie there. Sarr's dropping back in to be a midfielder alongside Gallagher. Then more like that as a shape. With Archie Gray, going as one of the wing-backs instead. So it may well be the same shape, right? That's what's being said over here on FOTMob. I believe. Yeah, that's correct. Van de Ven loves to run right through the midfield. I think that's definitely going to be something that we're all a bit scared of. Van de Ven and Romero are both two good centre-backs. If we're now looking at a weak point, right? If I'm looking at a weak point of this Spurs team, probably going to go that part of the pitch. Would you say that's fair? Because if I'm looking down the left-hand side, I'm like, Udogie is actually really quite a good player. Good win-back. Van de Ven and Romero are particularly physical. And if Gallagher's on that left-hand side, I think he's probably the better of the midfield too. So it actually looks like, in terms of trying to find space, trying to create some overlaps, you're probably looking at that left-hand side. Which might mean that Cunha's going to have a really important game. It might mean he needs to get Shaw really going down there on the overlaps. I think that's probably where I would say the weakness is for Spurs. Because their strength would probably be that's their two probably best players. Pelini is a good tackler, Ashwin says down there. Yeah, but he can be got in behind, man. Unfortunately, I don't really think you're going to be seeing, let's be real, even though Luke Shaw's playing in like a full-back position now, you're not really going to be seeing Luke Shaw bombing up and down here, are you? In terms of creating any sort of overlaps, you're probably going to have to see Bruno put him wide and Cunha making those runs himself. So it might be Bruno. Let me see what you're saying down in the chat. Let's run through it. Francis is saying if they play high, they might leave some space, which Ahmed and Mbeumo can take advantage of on the right-hand side. Absolutely. I mean, we know that. Spurs, well, last season played like a suicidal high line. And the ball's in behind. If you're looking at one player to play those balls in behind, maybe not one player, but I love watching Martinez when he's got a bit of time on the ball. Type it in the chat, like, do you expect, actually I'll ask this, how do you expect Spurs to play today? Like, if you're United and you're Carrick going into today's game, are you expecting them to sit back, sit deep, compact, try and hold the ball, and then try and break through? I mean, where's their... They're not exactly gifted with a ton of pace up front, are they? Solanke's not that sort of striker. Odebear, does he have a lot of pace? Xavi Simons, he's more of a tight spaces player rather than a open spaces and punishing sort of player. But how are Spurs going to come out? They're going to... The way that Thomas Frank has played this season, it's kind of why they're where they are. He's been trying to make them defensively really sound, and they've just not been. And I already explained this in my preview, but I'll do it again because many of you who are tuning in who might not have seen that. I want Man United to win the ball in this zone of the pitch as much as you possibly can without going crazy on the high press. If you look at the stats, so far this season, Spurs have lost the ball in their own defensive third 108 times this season, which is 4.5 times per game. Nearly 5 times a game, they pass inside the defensive third and it doesn't go to a teammate. It's how they conceded, I think, it led to how they conceded both of their goals against City. And they've been doing it all season. Spurs are particularly bad at playing out from... They're not bad at trying to play out from the back, but they are bad at making mistakes. And that's how, for example, Mbeumo scored against Arsenal. Good press against Zubimendi, forced the error, he was clinical and he took advantage. I want to see United with a better organised press today because I don't think against Fulham it was particularly good. First 2 games against City and Arsenal, City and Arsenal, you know what the shape was. Right? Ahmad tucked in. It was Dorgu, but he tucked in. And Bruno and Mbeumo, that was the shape. 4-4-2 out of possession. And it really, really worked. I want United to do that, but probably just step it up a little bit. I'm not saying that I want United to go with a full high press. I think that's incorrect. But I think I'd rather see us have a little bit of a higher line today, because I'm not really scared of the... Nice. Famous last word, Sam. Well done. I'm not going into this game scared of what Spurs could do in behind us. I'm not scared of this like ridiculous pace that they've got with two wingers that we won't be able to get anywhere near. They've got Solanke as their main centre forward. It's going to be physical and it's going to be a hard player to play against, sure. But Xavi Simons is not a runner in behind. He is a give me the ball to my feet player. Odegaard might be, but we should be playing with a slightly higher line today, keeping it compact and therefore being able to press a little bit higher against Spurs. Let me see what you're saying. I'll read out some of the chats now. Dean, good morning to you, dude. Welcome to the Matchday show. If you are new in town, please do consider subscribing. You know what I was thinking, right? You see the subs down here. If we can make that, I mean, it would be great if we can get to 570,000. I don't think we will, but if we can get to 900, we'll give this away. Hey, come on. It's one of the giveaways. You see that whole thing there? That's about 13, 14 kits and all the posters. Loads of Stan Chow posters, loads of originals. They're all giveaways. So if you're new in town, make sure you subscribe. And if we can reach that number, we'll give it away to someone in the chat. All right? So this year's black kit. It's a great one. Let me see what you're saying down here in the chat then. MK saying, I think Heaven should be introduced more often. Dude, I saw some... I don't know, it was someone yesterday just trying to... I don't know, like try and find an argument. But people were trying to say, oh, look, like, Heaven's being left out now. Oh, look, like uncomfortable truths and this and that. Like, mate, Harry Maguire's just come back from injury, an established English international, and Carrick's put him in, and he's played fantastic. And Martinez, a World Cup winner, they're both ahead of an 18-year-old lad in the pecking order of being Manchester United centre-backs. Like, is that too hard to understand? It's not a problem. It's just like, we're finally getting a bit of form. All season long, everybody's been pissing and moaning that the centre-backs are getting constantly changed. So what, at the point where we're actually getting some results and winning 3 in a row, and maybe certain players aren't getting some minutes, then it's a problem? Nah. No, I'm not having that whatsoever. I feel sorry for Aiden, but also at this point in his career, I don't think he can... Look, he's played well, but Maguire's playing very well. Don't change anything, just for the sake of it. Someone down here, what else are we saying? Yeah, it wasn't new things to the PO box. What we put up there, I put in a few United stands. I had that one there as a red issue from 2015, which I found in my drawer. So I put that one up. But yeah, it looks nice. Got a few more things on the community board. Let me see what else you're saying down here in the chat. And you're saying you want that shirt. Well, let's see if we can get there. Let's try and get to 569 900. If we do that, someone in the chat's going to be given that shirt. All right. Heaven and Euro will get more minutes next season. We get European football. Yep, that kind of goes without saying. Now let's see if anything else is coming out. Right. See if we can get some pre-match quotes. There's somebody who we can't wait to see today. Sorry, Ugarte, not you. Cobby's been... What's everyone expecting from Cobby today? That midfield, Sarr and Gallagher, it is a very non-creative but pestering midfield. That's what the Spurs midfield is. Right? Is that a fair way to describe it? Out of possession, they're going to be quite hard to get past, but there's not really much creativity going through there. So there shouldn't be, I think, any sort of central progression from Spurs will depend on Xavi Simons and whether he can get in between the line, in the spaces and trying to bring the ball forward. Other than that, I can't imagine, might be wrong, but I can't imagine you're going to see Gallagher and Sarr really play through Cobby and Casemiro today. Too much anyway. But let's speak about Cobby. Let me see what you're saying. Zenith, you're saying Cobby in midfield, I feel safe. Alex, you're saying clean and tidy. Foxy saying he'll work his socks off. Remember, he covered more ground than any player against City and Arsenal, which is a mad one. Best player on the pitch, someone says down there. I'm expecting at least one assist or a goal from Cobby. I don't think he's been getting himself, not through poor play, but just like how we've been playing and certainly our shape out of possession. Hasn't been getting in those positions too often where he could get an assist or a goal. But I suppose Casemiro got an assist, didn't he, for Cunha? The little no-look one. What else are you saying down here in the chat? This team is like the Atletico Madrid of the Prem. Atletico Madrid are a pretty decent team. I know what you're trying to get at here, like Simeone ball. But they were also very good at what they did. And I think Spurs are the hard-working element of it without really getting the results, without really performing as a team. But as Spurs showed in that second half against City, they are capable. So if you're saying Zimon's crap, I think one of his better and best performances of the season did come against City in that second half. So he's a danger man, and so Solanke. Solanke scored 2, but this is a team who's 14th, man. This team is so vulnerable. They are going into this game, back of their mind, they're trying to, like, quieten down the voices. Dean, good morning to you, man. Big up. Gifting 10 memberships. Let's have a quick look back at the word cloud. Who do you think is going to be man of the match, right? Turns out Cantona is going to be man of the match, which is good to know. But by the looks of it, you're all going for Bruno. Cunha's up there too. And maybe, I'd say the top 3 on this list, Bruno for sure, Cunha and Ahmad. That's the top 3 that you are going for, all right? Let's find out. Right, let's get some more stuff from the pre-game build-up. Anybody new here? Where are you watching from? No one cares what you have to say on TNT Sports, Conor Gallagher. I'm sorry, mate. Right, there's the boss. Right, let's get this up. Nope, don't need music. Nope, don't need music. Why do you do that twice? There's Senny. There's Harry. Yeah. Good morning. Hello. I can hear it. That's exactly where you recorded that as well. Casemiro, you're back to have another strong game today. 1 game a week, Casemiro. Pre-World Cup. Been magnificent. And it's been a long old time since we've gone into a game thinking our midfield is stronger than the other team's midfield on paper and in form, really. We've got somebody watching from Japan, somebody watching from Luxembourg, batteries not included. Ray watching from Calais in France. We've got Radu watching from Romania, Real watching from Singapore. Good morning to all of you. Jez from Ethiopia and El Beetle watching from Cork in Ireland. Hey, look, Casemiro, I'm backing in to have another good game. There's Kobe. There's Ugarte. There's Cunha. There's Bayende, who won't probably play for United again. And there's Benjamin. What do you think's going through his head, I suppose? I don't think... Do I think he'll be annoyed he's not in the starting 11? I think annoyed is the wrong word, for being honest. I think he'll be frustrated that he's not in the starting 11. But I think he'll understand. We're 3 from 3. I think we all probably would in the chat here. Type yes or no. Do you think Šeško is going to score from the bench today? I think I would. I'd back him. I'd imagine we'd see him. Not that I think it'll be a pre-planned and calculated sub, but I imagine you'd probably see him on quite early. 65 minutes. I suppose it kind of depends on what's going on in the game, right? But I think you'll see him on 65. Let me see where else you're watching from. We've got a 2x38 watching from USA. We've got Gene watching from Burundi. Magnus watching from Norway. Man, it is mad how United is all around the world. Really is mad. If any of you haven't tuned into the Friday show, you'd see the community map. It's crazy. Right, we've got Dolmith. We've got Scorpion. We've got M.A. Wood. Gungshi. Batteries. We've got a Beetle. VMNG. All of you are saying yes. You think he'll score from the bench? I think he scores from the bench. I back him to score. 53 minutes till kickoff today. Feels fun. I wish I kind of did these earlier, but anyway, we're doing them now. It's good to have a proper chat with all of you ahead of the kickoff. Because normally on a match day, you only hear from me after the game. Right, let's see if there's any other comments from Carrick. There aren't just yet, but I think there will be quite soon because I'm guessing he'll get asked by TNT Sports. Tyler Fletcher, interesting to see him in the squad instead of Shea Lacey. Because Shea Lacey wasn't in the squad with the under-21s yesterday. I suppose it's just him giving opportunities. I think, would there be more chance that Fletcher gets minutes? No, I don't think he'll go ahead of Ugarte if he does make a midfield sub. Do I think that Lacey could have got minutes? I mean, potentially, really, if I'm being honest. Right, anything else? Nah, nothing else down there. Anybody's just tuning in, welcome aboard. Let me show you the teams. The full teams are out, right? So, United are completely unchanged, which will come as zero surprise, really, to any of us. There was an argument for Šeško, maybe. Oh, I've left it in the pressing shape. One sec. Let me put it back to where United actually will line up to start with. That's a little bit better. But United are sticking to it. 4-2-3-1. It's worked in the first 3 games. If it's not broken, don't fix it. That's what everyone always says. That's exactly what Carrick has done. In terms of changes for Spurs, they've made a couple. Mickey van der Ven's come in at what looks like left centre-back in a back 3, but we don't know. They could potentially play a back 4. So keep an eye on the shape of Spurs when the first whistle goes, because it might be a back 4. But according to FOTMob, it's a back 3. Van der Ven coming in, and then Sarr coming into midfield, and Odegaard coming up front. And the 3 players who have left is Dragosan, Muani, and Basuma. And that's the starting 11s. We can go down here and look at the poll, right? We've had 1,700 votes are in. Big up to all of you. And 93%, and I say that, 93% are backing United to win. 93. Don't sit on the fence or anything. All of you have got proper PTSD about Van der Ven, don't you? As long as we see this man smiling by the end of the day, then we know it's been a good result. Bones Jones, you're saying none of those Spurs players worry me. Solanke's going to be a danger if we allow him in those positions, certain positions where he's got a bit of space. I'm not too scared about Solanke in behind. In the same way that Spurs should be terrified, really, of Mbeumo in behind, of Diallo in behind, of probably more so than Cunha. Cunha's not really an in-behind player. He's more of a to-feet player, isn't he? Right, let's run through this. It's fun. I'm enjoying this. Where's that gone? Pull that up. And yeah, as I said earlier, if we get 60 more subscribers today, one of you is winning this. All right? This is a giveaway. So if you're new in town, make sure you do subscribe. Because I know there will be plenty here that goes, well, I haven't seen this before. You're not normally here. Because I'm not normally here. But I am now. Right, let's see if there's anything else coming out. Oh, that's a nice touch. That's the armband for today, for Bruno. There's a nice touch. Should we have a little conversation about Bruno? Come on in, let's pull a photo up of Bruno and we can have a chat. Just fire it in the comments. Like, what are you expecting from Bruno today? What sort of performance do you think you're going to be seeing from Bruno? I suppose that's kind of a bit of a rhetorical question because we know what sort of performance we're going to see from Bruno today. The guy's been... Well, he's just been Bruno Fernandes this season. I'd say... Do you feel like he's changed his game a little bit? I've seen that being said by people. I'm not sure whether I do. I'm not sure whether I really think that he's changed his game that much. I think we're just seeing the fact that he's... I mean, but even saying that, Bruno was delivering... It's not as if he's only just started delivering goals and assists in these last 3 games because he's playing in a number 10 role. He was delivering goals and assists, more assists, from wherever he was being played under Ruben Amorim. He was still impacting and affecting games completely, even when he was out of position. An assist is a bare minimum. Someone says down there, Dean, you're going for a goal and 2 assists. Shax, good morning to you, dude. It is still morning. Gifting 5 memberships as well. All of you. The memberships are just like... gifting memberships is almost like a... It's become part of the culture here at United People's TV. It's everybody else's way of inviting you in. Say, look, stick around. Become a member. Get involved. And I tell you what, we've had some exciting advancements in the project I've got going on behind the scenes to build like a really good new home for United People's TV community. Past Discord, past just this YouTube conversation. I'm really excited for it. And when that happens, then the memberships will really, really game value. That's the idea anyway. 10 key passes from Kyle. That's very particular. I'm going to have to put a fiver on United winning 4. Should I put a fiver on United winning 4-1? 1 second. Let me see what the odds are. I can't not. If United win 4-1 and I haven't done it, I'm going to be fuming. What do you reckon the odds are? United 4-1. Let's have a look. Correct score. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a bit naff. 20-1. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway. Gonna do it anyway. Right. There you go. 4-1 is on. You can see it there. No, you can't. Oh, well. Anyway, it's on. Right, let's see what else he's saying down here. Just be himself, says Casper. Bruno owes Spurs big time. Bruno's going to cook, says Zenith. King Bruno today, 5 assists. Was it one game where Pogba got 4 assists? Have I made that up? I think it was that. Was that the most assists that any United player's ever got in a game? That I don't actually know. 1 second there. Right, leave that there. Right. Someone saying best and man of the match performance. Tortoise saying, love this, Sam. Are you going to be doing this for every match? This is a brand new show that I'm going to be doing before every single game. I'll be here before the West Ham game on Tuesday. I'm going to be here probably about an hour and 15 before the game. Just in time for 15 minutes before the team's released. Then we'll talk about it, and then we'll stop probably 15 minutes before kickoff. Then you can all go out, get a beer, sit there. What's everyone drinking today? Fire it in the chat. What's your pre-match? What's your match ritual wherever you are? Do you go to a certain pub? Do you crack one open? What do you do? Everyone around the world's got different match day rituals, man. Captain Steakbait, good morning to you and to Gungshi as well. Icons, both of you. Spurs will be shopping at Sheshko's tonight. I bet you're well happy at that one. That is a poor one. Even a dad would be offended at that. Yeah, it was Leeds, wasn't it? That was it. Pogba got 4. Bruno to get 5 assists. Bruno gets 9 assists against Spurs and already breaks Thierry Henry's record. It's not, man. No, it is impossible. Let's be honest. Right, let me see what else is being said down here. Right, Carrick's been speaking to TNT Sports, so we'll bring up some quotes of that. Let me see what your match day rituals are. Maddie, going for a beer in the first half, another in second. Very particular. Brandy and Coke, says Carl from South Africa. Very nice. Guinness at home. Tyrell's having something else. Enjoy that. Luke Jacobs, double rum and Coke. Very nice. Guinness since 11 a.m. It's like when you go to an away game. It's two times in the world where drinking at any time is completely allowed and not frowned upon. One is in the airport. The airport pint before a holiday. Doesn't matter what time it is. You're always having an airport pint. And then if you're on a away trip, doesn't matter what time it is, you're getting on the beers. Coffee with Baileys, 7:30 a.m. in New York. Very nice. Yorkshire tea. There's a couple of people behaving, a couple of people not behaving. That's what's going on. Right, let's pull up some quotes from Michael Carrick on what's going on today. Speaking about Cobby. Speaking about the unchanged 11. I think that's probably the most important thing to start with. Right. He goes, Sheshko has done fantastic. He's going to be a big player here. I've been really impressed with him. Today was just a decision, but he will come on and he'll make a difference. And I really don't think that's why the starting 11 video I did earlier this week was kind of one of the easiest I'm going to bloody do, really. There was no need to change. There never was a need to change. Not in this team. Not today. Not after the results that we have got. Right. Let's see what he's saying about Cobby here. Shame I can't have this on TV and run through it with you. But that'll be shut down for copyright. He's just speaking about Cobby. So I haven't really had to pass any tips on to him yet. Cass and Cobby have been fantastic. I've given them little bits of advice and trusting them on finding their way and expressing themselves. That bit there, I think that's probably one of the biggest compliments I would give what I've seen under Carrick so far. I've seen the players kind of being the best versions of themselves. Casemiro's not doing anything new. He just looks very assured in being the Casemiro that we love and actually being so confident that he's doing no-look passes. You don't do that without a level of confidence. I'm seeing Bruno playing in the number 10 role. Far less defensive responsibility in terms of covering the space, which therefore allows him to press a little bit better. And Bruno's press is actually really quite good when you're covering the space behind. But when you have Bruno as one of the two central midfielders and he's running out, there's a big old gap that then gets exploited. And then the rest of them, Ahmad and Mbeumo. Actually, no, Mbeumo is probably the player, I'll be honest, right? One sec here. I think Mbeumo is a player who he's playing a different position than any of us expected him to. I don't think any of us thought that in Carrick's first 3 games, Mbeumo would be used as the false 9. Did we? But also, one thing we all said is, maybe not all of us said, but I certainly felt, I was concerned that when Carrick came in, how do you get Mbeumo and Ahmad in the same team? Because I thought that both of them wanted to play that right wing position. So what we've seen so far is a way for Carrick to get probably our 2 best attackers this season, Ahmad and Mbeumo, in the same team together. Now, Šeško's, unfortunately for him, that means that Šeško's been left out of the starting 11. And sometimes Cunha has been too, because Dorgu was in form. But he's playing form players in their best positions. So he has been allowing them to express themselves, and that's coming down to sort of choices that have been happening. I won't be doing a watch along. I'll never be doing. If I was to, I'm trying to think. If I was to ever do a watch along, I wouldn't do it like this. I wouldn't do it me facing the camera. It'd be like quite like what Stretford Paddock do. If I ever got the opportunity to sit there with a couple of mates and we all sit there and watch the game together, that's different than me just. I wouldn't be much fun. I really wouldn't be much fun. I'd just be swearing 24/7. I'm quite an angry person when I'm watching it. Angry person? Animated. That's what I would call myself. I'm not a quiet person when you're sitting there watching a game. Get a bit loud. Right, anybody who's just tuning in, welcome aboard. Welcome to United People's TV. I'm Sam. This is the Matchday show. Haven't been doing these before, but I'm going to be doing these every single Matchday now from now on. So there's 13 more after today for the rest of the season. Teams are in. No change from United, and only a couple of changes from Spurs. And probably the only change that you'll really care about is the fact that Van de Ven is fit to start. Question this. Not question this. This is a question. Do you think... Are you Carrick and looking and thinking, well, Van de Ven's... Does anybody know why Van de Ven was out? What was his injury? Was it muscular? Was it an impact injury? I don't actually know. But if it was muscular, I know he's an athlete, but would you not maybe try and exploit that a little bit? You go, oh, what? Van de Ven's back, is he? Right, okay. Well, boys, and Mbeumo, Ahmad, first 15, let's get the balls in behind Van de Ven and test him. Let's see if he's completely fit. Because it might just be a case that he was 95% fit. So a couple of you saying hamstring, and I thought it was a hamstring. And if there's any injury that you're going to do that with, it'll be a hamstring injury, wouldn't it? I think that's the injury that's got him a couple of times. Because he's such a powerful running athlete. So if that is the case, then kind of ignore what I said at the start. When I was saying that the best space for United would probably be down that side. I would say, well, surely then, if it's Van de Ven, and it was a hamstring injury, that's the part of the pitch that you want to try and exploit. People are saying it was a knock. People are saying impact injury. Don't quite know. But maybe you just test that injury. Test the fitness of Van de Ven in the first 15 minutes. How sharp is he? Because I doubt he'll be as sharp as Ahmad and Mbeumo, because they are 2 players that you really probably wouldn't want to face if you're just coming back from a hamstring injury and you kind of want to nurse yourself into a game. Don't give... I just don't want this United team to let Spurs settle into the game. Because I think if we do that, you'll give them some confidence, right? I don't want United to give Spurs the opportunity to get a foothold in this game. I want us to go... I'm not saying hell for leather. I'm not saying completely full tilt, throw everybody forward like it's the last 5 minutes of a game. But I want United to approach this game like we did in the first 15 against City. We really put it on them. I know it's a bit different because it's Carrick's first game, B, it's the derby, so everyone's going to be G'd up anyway. But that energy in Old Trafford will make a difference. Let me see what you're saying down here. Saturday night in Melbourne, watching. Good morning, good evening. Good night, mate. To Macabre. Quite a few of you saying it's muscular injury, so I don't really know exactly what it is. But if it was a hamstring injury, yeah, then I would do that. What else being said down here? Right, nothing else really ahead of kickoff. We can just have a good old conversation then. What else did I want to speak about? Fire it in the chat. If you are new here, make sure you do subscribe. We've got, just under 40 minutes now until kickoff. Already ran through the teams. When was the last time we won four in a spin? I think I remember seeing this the other day. I think it was under Ten Hag. We beat... I think that might have included... The last time we won 4 in a spin, I think might have included that Cobby game against Wolves. You know, the 4-3 mad one. Then who did we beat? Did we beat Spurs in that little period too? And I think we ended up beating Luton as the 4th one. I think that might have been the last time that we won 4 in a spin. It's been a while. And if we win here, hey, look, these next 2 games in the next... Well, we play Tuesday, right? Next 3 to 4 days, we could be winning 6 in a row. Well, 5 in a row, actually. Well done, Sam. Someone down there saying it feels like it was 1987 since we last won 4 in a row. I think it was under Ten Hag, actually. Because Amrim didn't do it. Amrim only won 3 in a row once, and Carrick has done it in his first 3 games. We know that. What are we saying down here in the chat? Salim, nice to see you, dude. It's been a while. Amram will send him back to hospital. Poor lad. JC, good morning to you, dude. Random question. What's your favourite fan channels that if your channel didn't exist that you would watch? Stretford Paddock's the only one that I would watch. I've got... a long time ago, me and Jay and Dale from Stretty News. That was when all 3 of us used to run United blogs. I ran The People's Person, Jay ran Red Flag Flying High, and Dale ran Stretty News. Us 3 recorded a pilot podcast episode together, and sod knows, I think if I went through my old files somewhere, I might even be able to find it. Probably won't. No, sod knows where that's gone. But I got a lot of time for Jay. Really nice. I actually met Jay and I think it was Joe as well out in Bilbao in the march to the stadium too. Good lads. All the others got no time for them. All they do is hysteria among fans, crappy headlines, luring people in and just feeding people a lot of nonsense and doing it multiple times a day because there is a requirement for constant content. So let's just make stuff up a lot of the time and let's just pull whiffy news and turn it into a headline. No, it riles. They don't realise. No, they probably do, but they don't care. I've got no time for either of them. But Stretford Paddock, good lads. Fran, good morning to you. 5 gifted memberships. All of you. You're doing great today. What's going to be the half-time score? Let's get that in as a prediction. All right, what's the half-time score? United going to be winning at half-time? I think so. United view, to be fair. I don't really have anything bad to say about those lads. I'm sure Fleck's a good guy. I'm sure KG's fine. I'm not actually spoken really to any of them. I've got no ill will towards any of them. Not I've got ill will to... Actually, no. I do have ill will to certain ones. But, yeah. Smee, you think it's going to be 2-0 at half-time? So does Ashwin. So does Phantom as well. Mun, you're going for 2-1. 0-0. 7-0. Mike Oliver. He's not here, is he? Who is it today? Oh, it is Mike Oliver, actually, isn't it? Do people actually care who refs are? I always find it weird that people... Not that people care, like... Not that I find it weird that people care, but... You couldn't show me a ref that would make me go... Oh, I'm so happy he's the ref. Oh, he's the best. Just be like... This is a less bad ref? That's why I always find it slightly weird when people get annoyed that there's a certain ref on. Because there's no ref that I could watch. I'd be like, yeah, cool. It's going to be a good day today. I suppose some refs are just worse than others. That's kind of the point, I suppose, that some of you are getting at. Right. Thomas Frank, that's boring. They're a team that plays with confidence. After 3 big wins, they have a formidable attack, but we're ready. Wah! You're not ready. You're vulnerable as hell, and I hope United exploit that. Right. Who else have we got to speak about today? This was Carrick before the game. That hug from Cunha. He seemed very safe in Casemiro's arms there. Right, what are you saying down here? Some refs are very card happy. As someone I haven't had Casemiro. I can't remember what game it was. Was it a derby? I swear there was a game that we had recently where a ref was letting fouls go. And it did make for... See, that I probably would agree with. I'm not sure who that ref was. But there was a ref that we've had in a recent game, and he was just, letting some niggly fouls go, which was allowing the game to flow a bit more rather than stop-start. Because the game is... Football's kind of a non-contact sport now, isn't it? Just a lot of fouls that wouldn't have been given before are now given, and everything's got to be seen under a microscope in slow motion at 400 frames. Pierluigi Collina. PES 3. Front cover. Second best football game of all time behind PES 6. Which had Adriano on the cover. I'm a PES fan. Come on, we all are really. Well, if you're not, you missed out. Can United sign Carrick for next season? Well, they might do. Yeah, a couple of you saying it was the derby. I think it might have been the derby where the ref was just letting more go, and it was making for a better game. It allowed the energy to keep building and building and building because little fouls, like Cobby's tackle on Raul Jimenez. When he absolutely lumped him. It wasn't a foul, but he went through him. Rory saying, I think it's a joke they show freeze frames as fouls. Always looks much worse. Well, they do. It's kind of what it is in slow motion. Right, what do we need? We need 30 odd more subscribers. If you're new, I know it might sound like I'm begging this, but I'm not. It's just I think it's a fun thing to do. I've got plenty of shirts and I've got plenty of stuff that I can give away to people. So if people want to join in the community and become part of the channel, why not? If we reach 900, 569 900, going to choose someone that's going to win that. Fire any chats. It's interactive. I'll try and answer as many as I can. What have we got? Half an hour until kickoff. So I'm here for another 15 minutes, all right? What else are we saying down here? Nothing there. No. Let's just speak about the game. Anybody got any questions? Fire them in. We'll have a little community question time, if you want to call it that. Next 5-10 minutes. Jamlek saying, I'd like to give credit to Amrim. He helped. If I was... Okay, that's a cool question, I suppose. What do you think Amrim did that he left a positive impact behind? Fitness-wise, for sure. He left United a far fitter team than he found us. I think in terms of getting rid of a lot of the bad attitudes, I think he did well with that. Didn't get rid of all of them, but I think that was his fault. Those are the two things that would jump, from a cultural perspective and from a fitness perspective. I think those two things I can thank Amrin for. Also, I can thank him for making sure that bloody Amazon documentary didn't happen. Because I think that would have happened this season. Might have made for great viewing, but wouldn't have been good for the football club. I tell you that. What else are you saying down here? Amram doesn't deserve any credit. Someone Kushi says down there. Amram's impact is more off the field than on the field. Amram broke down egos. Got the fitness of the players. Left the dressing room in a better place than he arrived. That's about it. Got rid of some of the deadwood. Yeah, I think it's probably those two things. Sam, is your missus a United fan or a match day's hell for her? Well, actually, her mum is a United fan. Big up, Jill. I know you're not watching, Jill. But she's a United fan, and so's her brother as well. So it's actually United in her family, and by proxy, she's now a United fan. Actually, the first game I took her to, it was a bit of an experience, to be fair. I kind of threw her in the deep end. I took her to the United-Liverpool game at Old Trafford a couple of years ago that had the 1958 protest before it, which was the biggest protest I think I've seen. I swear there was like 10,000 people there. So she was right in the middle of that with me. Big up to Bal. Big up to his sister as well. And all the other people we were with. But that was her first experience of a United game. And we won. That was when Sancho scored first. And then Rashford scored. We won 2-1. Because I think, who was it that scored? Someone scored like a late overhead kick. But that was our first ever game. I'm engaged. Mees, we're going to be getting married in May. So you can all send well, you can't send anything really. Would you want to say, so I'm going to go down and read your questions now. So fire in your questions. Next 5-10 minutes. Do I want to see Šeško start more? I'm fine with the team as it is. If we win today, my opinion's actually that might be a little bit different for Tuesday because we're going to be playing on Saturday and Tuesday. That's a conversation where you might be rotating for fitness purposes. So it might be a case where, say Casemiro, for example, is he going to be fit enough to start 2 games in a space of what? 4 days? 3-4 days? Not quite sure. Might be a reason why you might see players maybe taken off earlier than you would want against Spurs today, with the West Ham game in mind. Something to think about. I think there's more chance of changing that West Ham team because they're 2 close games. Remember, we've got 13 days between West Ham and Everton. That'll be fun. I did see that, Seeker. If you haven't seen this news, Avram Glazer has bid 1.8 billion for, is it the Rajasthan Royals, an Indian Premier League cricket team. $1.8 billion. I think they've got down to around about 5 bidders. And this is a man, remember, that has not put $1 of his own money into Manchester United ever. Now has nearly $2 billion to go and bid for another team in a different sport. You know why? Because he sees an opportunity for that to be worth X amount in X years' time. Scumbag. Beyond belief. Live stream the wedding. Hey everybody, welcome to United People's TV. I'm getting married. That's a quick way to get divorced. How have you been, says Matt. Oh, Matt, how you doing, buddy? It's been a while. Nice to see you. Some regular faces, some new faces in here. Sasha, you're enjoying the pre-match stuff? Cool. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Franny's saying, do you think the protests will have any real impact on the owners, or will the Glazers just brush it off? I think directly they won't have any impact. But Jim Ratcliffe, these protests will be having an impact on Jim Ratcliffe, and therefore indirectly, hopefully having an impact on the Glazers. His ego is far more fragile than the Glazers. They are just like villains. They're happy being sweaty Bond villains. And I don't think anything can really be said that can damage them. The only way they can damage them is the bottom line with the money. Do you want to see an all-English 3 in midfield next season? We're playing in midfield 2. Unless you count the third. What? Bruno leaving. I don't know what you're talking about there. Elliot Anderson. Well, everybody knows. Oh, is it Royal Challengers Bangalore? Okay, sorry, my bad. It was a different team. Either way, Avram Glazers found nearly $2 billion to bid for a cricket team. All the while, we have no money. Fantastic. Terrific owners. Thank you very much, mate. Maisie saying, do you think Spurs will go for it or sit back and hit us on the counter? Personally, I think they sit back and hit us on the counter. I don't particularly see how this Spurs team comes out and tries to go on the front foot. It's not what Spurs have done this season. It's not been how they've played. It's not really been how, if they've won games, it's not been how they've won games either. 2-0 down against City is a different sort of situation. And you mods are not getting invited to the bloody wedding. I tell you that. Bone saying, I hope you're not getting married on a match day. I'm not telling you when I'm getting married. But it might be an issue. Currently. We'll find out. Would you sell shirts you don't need anymore? Well, that's exactly what all of these are. So I've got this one here. We're only 25 short. We might make it, you know. We've got how long? We've got another 10 minutes to get 25 of you to subscribe. So 25 of you, I guarantee you. So hit that subscribe button now. Get your phone out. Boom. There's 1,500 of you watching, so there must be 10 of you. No, 25 of you. So anybody who's new here, this is brand new. This is my new setup. By the way, there was supposed to be a TV here. Let me show you a photo of the TV. Bear in mind, I've not used this thing yet. I bought it brand new. There's supposed to be a TV there. There's not a TV there because that's what it looks like. I don't know what the hell happened to it. I set it up the other night and then turned it back on. I was like, huh? Anyway, I've had to reach out to try and get a replacement for that. Because there should be one there. Hence why it looks like there's a big space. Now you have to laugh. I didn't laugh, though. I was pissed. I was angry. Anyway, what are we saying down here? Unrelated, but thoughts on the Palace downfall. Yeah, I can answer anything really here. If I was a Palace fan, I'd be absolutely livid. To go from the FA Cup to where they are now. The Mateta situation, he seems like a bit of a dick, really. I think he's been playing with an injury for a good while. Mark Gahey, they couldn't really stop. But unfortunately, a club like Palace, they are a stepping stone club. And they know they're a stepping stone club. So they know that any sort of success they have will likely be followed immediately by things getting picked apart. And it's just kind of the cycle that they have to go in. I feel sorry for fans of clubs like that because it must be hard to know that even when you've got it great, you know someone's going to come in and cherry pick things out. It's going to fall apart. How long have I been a United fan? I've been a United fan my whole life. Actually found a photo. See if I can. Did I put it on my phone? You know, sometimes you can like grey shirt. No, not there. You can search on your phone for like certain words and it will come up with it. Manchester United. Let's have a look here. I took a photo of this old photo I found in my mum and dad's house. Have I got it here? No. Oh, there's one. Look at this bad boy. I don't know how old I am here. Have a little zoom in. Look at that. He's happy, isn't he? He's a happy lad. I can't remember. I think that was the game I told you about. It was me and my friend that we went up. That was, I think, Chelsea 0-0 in the FA Cup and Gary Neville hit the post. I've said this to you before. That was that game. And that was the first time I went to Old Trafford. Right, what else are you saying down here? Let's have some more questions. Dorgu on right wing or left back. We've kind of had this argument. The way that he was playing in those two games, he was looking like he could be a left wing option. I kind of tend to agree with Nick from the pod when he was saying that I don't think there's ever going to be a United team that goes on to win the Premier League and the Champions League with Dorgu starting as left winger in every single game. But I think he can clearly be a very good squad member. I think that's probably what I would say about him. That might be a disrespectful thing to say, considering how good he was, and he's probably going to win Premier League Player of the Month. It feels like he's more of an attacker, and that's where his natural qualities are. But a lot of modern left-backs are converted wingers, aren't they? What else are you saying down here? Let's go and read some more comments out. Right, last, what have we got? We've got 5 minutes to go, and 20 of you need to subscribe. Get involved. Do I have a favourite United Spurs moment? The one that jumps to mind straight away was the game at White Hart Lane. Was that 3-0 down at half-time and we won 4-3 and Beckham scored 2? I think that was it. I'm going to pull that up. Spurs 3-4, Man United. I swear Beckham scored 2. Was that it? Nah, I was wrong. I was nearly right, but I was wrong. Because we were 3-0 down and we won 5-3. Beckham only scored 1 though. Close though. I nearly remembered. 3-0 down at half time to win 5-3. That's got to be your best Spurs moment. 2001. Jeez. Good question though. I like that. Let's bring this back up again. Let me use some more questions out. If we win this, are we in the title chase? Look, right. Let's have a quick look at the table before we wrap this one up. United can go 2 points behind Villa. And Villa are playing... Let's have a quick look at the results. I think Villa are away to Bournemouth. Prem matches. I'm pretty sure they're away to Bournemouth. They're away to Bournemouth? Yeah, I was right. So, teams above us. Villa away to Bournemouth, and that won't be an easy game. I think I'd expect Villa to win, but they've not been playing well recently. And City are away to Liverpool. So you're looking at some real opportunities again for United to gain points on teams above us if we win today. It's a big opportunity. It's going to consistently be a big opportunity for United. That's what I think so anyway. Do I think we're in a title chase? No. I personally think as much as I'm going to laugh and point and rib them a little bit here and there, I think Arsenal will win the league this year. I don't think it'll be a spectacular blow everything away winning the league, but I think they'll just get it done. That's the way I'm going to describe it. Now, I might be wrong on that, and if I am wrong on that, I think it's City who come in there and swoop. So I hope that this is the last season where I have to sit here as a United fan and talk about which rival I would prefer to win the league. Maybe it's the wrong way to describe it, prefer to win the league. But I think Arsenal get it done. Why do you not do watch-alongs, says Oxius. So anybody who's new here, I've never done one and I never will do one. I'll be honest, I think they're really odd. I think a lot of it is performative. I think a lot of it is purely just for entertainment only. How do you make people laugh? How can I be a clown? How can I make myself look stupid so that other people can point and laugh at me? That, for me, is what a lot of watch-alongs are. Now, I know that there's a lot of you who watch football from around the world, and therefore having a watch-along is kind of your place to come together with other United fans who are all around the world. And I respect that. Unfortunately, I just can't give you I think if you're going to do that, probably tune into Stretford Paddock and watch it there. Because I think there's a lot more, it's just genuine. I think a lot of watch-alongs I've never really agreed with. And if I wouldn't like to do it on my own anyway, because I'd like to bounce off someone. I'd like to have to sit there and talk to a friend whilst watching it. I think that's probably a bit more enjoyable. That would be a bit more enjoyable. What's the last name on a shirt people bought? It's a good question. I think it was Sheshko. Someone down there. There he is. There's the man himself. I feel a little bit bad for Cunha because I didn't put Cunha in there. By the way, I'm going to get some lights. So there's lights behind there, but I want to get some little spotlight for the gong. That's cool. I think someone sent me that. It's a United car with a little Old Trafford pop-up. It's quite fun. And yeah, you're doing watch-alongs. You can do them. I'm not doing them, no. Right, so we are 15 minutes away from kickoff. So I'm going to wrap this up now. I'm going to finish on this. These are the teams. United are unchanged. Spurs, they brought Van der Ven in. If I'm going to encourage you to watch out for anything, I'd say maybe in the first 10 to 15, see if United try and get balls in behind Van der Ven and make him run. Is he fit? Is he 100% fit? Well, let's test that in the first 15 minutes. So you might see United go heavy down the right-hand side. If they're playing in a back three, they might not be playing in a back three. They might be a back four. So look at that at the start of the game. Don't quite know. My prediction is 4-1 United. A lot of your predictions are United to win. I think we had about 2,000 votes. And 96% of you said United win. I really hope that you are correct. Now, can I just say, I really did enjoy that, people. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm a little bit annoyed at myself that I didn't start doing these earlier, if I'm honest. But I'm going to do these now for every single game. So I'll be here before the West Ham game. Go and enjoy the match. Have a great time. I'll be here after the game with the match reaction. If you are still new here and you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing now. We're 17 short of hitting this target, so maybe we'll give this away in a live show on Monday. And if you want to get involved, you should join in the live show on Monday. Much love, everybody. Enjoy the game. And United, make it 4 from 4. Make it 4 from 4. Take it easy.